Carrero Martinez, and I'm a violist from Venezuela. My beginnings in music was as part of the El Sistema in Caracas, Venezuela. I was in a school of music that we call Núcleo, and there I learned how to play the recorder when I was a kid. I was also in choir, and I was at the same time learning music theory a little bit. Then when I was around 10 years old, I was asked to choose an instrument, and I wanted to play the violin, but they didn't have a spot at the time. So they say, well, we have this instrument, it's called the viola. It looks like a violin, you play the same way. There are three strings that are the same, and they only have the C string that is a little bit lower in pitch. So I of course took the offer because I really wanted to play an instrument, so that was how I started playing the viola. Then later on, a few years later, I got accepted into the Teresa Carreño Youth Orchestra of Venezuela. I remember I was in a trial period for a year. They gave me and other colleagues a year to get to the level of the orchestra, which was very, very high, one of the best young musicians of the country were there from all over the country. So that was like a challenge for me, but I took it really seriously. I started practicing more, and a year later I got into the section, and that was also really, really important for me as a musician. I was, well, maybe that's a good signal for me. But then this orchestra was invited to do European tours. We started in 2010, and we played in one of the most prestigious concert halls in Europe, like Amsterdam Concertgebouw, the Vienna Concert House. We played in London, in Madrid, also in Berlin. We played in the Berlin Philharmonie. So that concert was wonderful. I remember I was with Sir Simon Rattle, the chief conductor of the Berlin Philharmonie, and also with our conductor. But that concert was really, really different. It was super inspiring. The reaction of the public, the audience was amazing. So at that moment I really decided to be a musician. That was when the turning point for me, when I said yes, I want to be a musician. At that time I was doing a bachelor's in economics as well, so it was like for me not really clear, but that was when I definitely decided that I wanted to be a musician. A year later from that I got the principal position. I was one of the three principals of that youth orchestra, so that was also very important for me, and it was really interesting because I entered in that orchestra as in a trial. I was not even a fixed member, and then a few years later I was principal, and that was for me also very motivating. The Sistema gave me many, many inspirational moments. Like I was with my quartet, and we could play for like Maestro José Antonio Abreu. He was the founder of the Sistema. He was such a wonderful person. I remember even having like quartet coaching with him. He would come to the orchestra to prepare us for our tours, and this type of like commitment to the whole system, it was really, really inspiring for me, and he was one of the major influences for me. Of course, aside from my family that also support me throughout my whole development as a musician in Venezuela. Then in 2015 I decided I wanted to come here to the US to study music in a conservatory, and I applied to a few of them, and I'm grateful that I was accepted into Manhattan School of Music to study with the violist of the American String Quartet with basically full scholarship. So that was for me also a really, really important moment in my musical life. Now I have been here in the US for almost 6 years, and yeah, I think that's about it. For me also, my hobbies is I really like football, European football. I'm a fan of the Football Club Barcelona. I like to go to hiking, I like to run, I love museums. I'm really, anytime I go to a new city I try to go to the major museum and try to see some beautiful paintings, sculptures or whatever they have to offer. So I think that's a little bit about me. and I hope to see you in the next video for technique advices for viola. See you later.